Hello, everyone. Am I audible? Am I audible to all? So, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Great, great, great. So many people have already raised their hands before I start the session. So there are all so many hands that have been raised that as such they have a doubt. So I'll cater all your doubts. Don't worry, I'll cater all your doubts. Right? Don't worry. But let's first start the session, and the session is all about the understanding of the basic conception of polity. Right? It is all about the understanding of the basic conception of polity. Right? So I hope we should proceed with the session, everyone. Right? Are you ready for the session, everyone? Great, 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 great. It's wonderful. It's wonderful as all of you are ready for the session. Thanks for the webinar. Oh, it's our pleasure that you are attending our webinar. Right. Chalo. So before just moving ahead with the polity, so I just want to take a moment about talking to you about the basic conception of UPSC, as many of you are the new attendees on the webinar and many of you may not be aware about the pattern of UPSC. So I'll just take a couple of minutes to explain to you the basic or the understanding of the pattern and the exam system of UPSC, and then within a couple of minutes we will move to the understanding of polity and how to approach polity for your UPSC examination. Right. So this UPSC, Union Public Service Commission, conducts the exam of civil services. I'll get to that. No, Nilesh, I'll get to that. Don't worry. Right. It conducts the exam of civil services. Now, in this civil service exam, there are three primary papers. One is prelims. Second is your mains examination. And third is your interview test or your personality test. Now, in this prelims examination, there is GS, General Studies, and there is CSAT. General Studies and CSAT. Now, in this General Studies, this is of 200 marks, and this CSAT is again of 200 marks, but this CSAT is entirely qualifying in nature. This CSAT is entirely qualifying in nature. That means you have to secure 33% of the marks to crack the exam. So this is basically qualifying in nature. What matters is your general studies. The merit will be made out of or on the basis of your performance in general studies. But that does not mean that CSAT is not important. There are so many incidents. There's so many incidents that the students score so well in GS, but they falter in CSAT. Right? Because people think that, oh, CSAT is just complimentary or it is just qualifying. So let us ignore CSAT and focus on GS. No, it is nothing of that sort. What is very, very important is that, yes, GS is primary for your examination, but CSAT is also very, very important. कि CSAT भी उतनी ही important है जितनी आपकी GS है, but हाँ, CSAT में qualifying है, GS जो है वो आपके लिए क्या करेगी, आपके merit में रहेगी. So GS is for merit, CSAT is for qualifying. Right? So in this GS examination, in this GS, there are basic subjects. In this general studies, there are basic subjects like history, polity, geography, economics, environment, science and tech, and everything includes current affair in it. In सबके साथ current affairs तो है ही, right? Current affair is complementary. Current affairs included in all these things. History, which includes your ancient medieval culture, which includes your modern history, right? And UPSC in the past couple of years is also asking you about the questions of post-independence history. One or couple of questions which are very, very easy from the post-independence domain. Then there is polity, which we will discuss in complete detail in this session. Be with me, right? Then there is geography. This geography, I'll get to polity later on. ठीक है, polity में पूरा बताऊंगा, explain करूंगा पर बाद में. Geography, there is your world geography, physical geography, human geography, and there is an Indian part of geography as well. Then there is economics, which is basically Indian economy. Then there is environment, and then there is science and tech along with current affairs. So all these things are in your general studies exam. हर साल different number of questions are asked out of every domain, right? Different number of questions are asked out of every domain, right? And some of the domains become very important and some of the domains are also important, but depending upon how UPSC is asking the questions. Then there is CSET, as I've told you. This CSET includes your quant, reasoning, and English. Quant, reasoning, and English. CSET includes quant, reasoning, and English. I'll come to the current affairs. Along with polity. Don't worry. Right? Don't worry that current affairs is not being addressed. I'll address it. Don't worry. I'm just telling you, bear with me. I'll address every of your doubt, every of your question. So don't worry. Right? So this quant, reasoning, and English, this becomes the part of CSET. Right? This becomes the part of CSET, which is qualifying in nature. But it is obviously, as I've told you earlier as well, it is very, very important for you to read this, to cover your CSET portion well before the exam, so that you are confident enough to crack the exam. Then the people who score merit on the basis of GS, they reach the portion of mains. Right? They reach the portion of mains. Quant is basically mathematics. Right? They reach the portion of mains. Now then there is, for mains, there are 4 exams. There is General Studies 1, there is General Studies 2, there is General Studies 3, and then there is General Studies 4. General Studies 1, General Studies 2, General Studies 3, and General Studies 4. Right? This General Studies 1 includes history, geography, and social issues. History, geography, and social issues. This General Studies 2, which we will discuss in detail in today's webinar, this I'll get to it. Right? So don't worry. This General Studies 2 includes polity, governance, social justice, and international relations. Right? Polity, governance, social justice, and international relations. All these things are included in General Studies 2 of UPSC. This General Study 3 includes economics, environment, internal security, disaster management, science and tech. So all these things are included in General Studies 3. Right? Economics, environment, security, science and tech, and disaster management. And then obviously there is General Studies 4, which is your ethics, integrity, and aptitude. Ethics, integrity, and aptitude. So all these 4 papers are of 250 marks each. Right? In 250 number का हर paper 250 number का है. Right? In mains examination. After these 4 GS General Studies, which includes history, geography, social issues. Right? So we'll cover this history, geography, social issues. I think there has already been a session conducted by Raj sir himself on the history portion. Right? Then geography will also conduct a session in a few weeks. Then obviously there is this session that we'll be discussing today, and then we'll simultaneously or afterwards we'll conduct a session for the major portion of economics, as well as the portion of ethics, integrity, and aptitude. Right? Arun, I'll take that as well when I'll cover polity. Don't worry, I'll cover polity. I'll tell you. Right, Arun? Right, Deepak ji, I will do that. Don't worry, Deepak ji. Right? So now once you score the marks in this mains examination, this mains examination also includes the portion of your essay and the portion of your optional. Portion of essay and portion of optional. We'll not get to this. We'll not get to the portion of essay and optional, right, as of now. Right? Because this essay is a complete separate understanding. This option is again a complete separate understanding, for which a separate webinar will conduct at a certain point of time. Right? That how to choose your optional, how to write an essay, we'll do everything for you. We'll do everything for you. Right? So essay is of 250 marks each essay. then there is an optional which has, you need to select one paper or one subject as your optional, and there will be 2 papers from that, that is 500 marks in totality. Now out of this total process, ultimately you will get your interview test or personality test call. So this is basically, yes, Indian language, I am talking about merit. Anshuman, I am talking about merit, कि ये merit में include होते हैं, right? ये merit में include होते हैं, उनकी बात कर रहा हूं. उसके अलावा yes, there is an exam of English, there is an exam of regional language, that you may choose Hindi, you may choose Punjabi, you may choose as regional language in which you are comfortable, right? आप यूपीएससी की पीडीएफ खोलोगे, so you will get that thing that क्या क्या उसमें है, तो वहां से आप निकाल सकते हो कि which regional language you can choose, right? That is social justice. हिंदी में भी तो समझा रहा हूं. This will be bilingual. I am taking Hindi as well, I am speaking English as well, right? So don't worry. It will go in bilingual manner, right? I'll take care of both, right? So ये आपका मेंस का पोर्शन हो गया, and after that obviously if you clear this mains or you get the interview calls, right? You will get the interview call, right? So this is how the basic pattern of UPSC is being done, and this is what is the basic understanding of the exam perspective. Now we'll shift towards the main objective of our webinar. Without talking about anything else, we'll shift to the main objective of our webinar, that is UPSC. So that is polity in UPSC, how to prepare polity in UPSC or for UPSC exam, right? So now when we talk about polity, so for prelims examination, yes, Himanshi, under GS1 it is history, geography and social issues. So when we talk about the portion of your polity or your paper GS2, especially polity, so this polity we can segregate into prelim syllabus as well as in main syllabus. As UPSC mentions, right? So whenever we discuss or whenever we start discussing about polity, there are some basic thoughts that come to your mind. So can you tell me what are the basic issues that you face? क्या क्या आपके दिमाग में आता है जब सोचते हो कि कैसे तैयार करना है? I'll address all of them. You just type in the comment section that what issues that you face. I'll address all of them. I'll write it down and I'll address them gradually. Right? क्या समझ में आता है? What issues that you face? How to make notes? Great. How to make notes? Okay. We'll address this gradually. Current affairs, NCRTs, sources, how to read articles, how to remember articles, not required. Sources, I'll tell sources, don't worry. From where to start? I'll tell the sources, everything will be covered, right? Previous year questions. Terminology. Great. Terminology. Okay. Now the topics are being repeated. Analysis of previous year questions. How to analyze newspaper. What to read? That is the sources. Lakshmikant to be covered or not? Okay. Shall we memorize what we read? I'll get to that. Right. Okay. So now the questions are being repeated. Right. Okay. Now one very important question that many aspirants have asked is that if we are from other background, can we understand polity? There's someone has said that if I am from medical background, can we understand polity? Yes. The answer is absolutely yes. Right. So I'll get to that. Now these are the questions that need to be addressed. Bus. Now I have enough questions. Let me start. Right. Enough questions. All of the questions will be addressed. Right. Answer writing. Okay. Answer writing. Chalo. So I'll address all of these questions. Now talking about this understanding of polity. Now first let us understand the basic strategy of polity. I'll break the webinar into few points, right? First we'll understand the syllabus of polity. then we'll understand the strategy of polity, then we'll understand the approach of polity, and in that I will cover how to make notes, in that I will cover the sources, in that I'll cover the current affairs, I'll cover everything in this breakdown. Right. So first, let us understand the basic portion or the basic syllabus of polity, and from where you can cover this, how you can cover this, and what should be ideally your strategy for covering this portion of polity. So if we talk about the syllabus of polity, so this polity portion, as I told you, can be broken down into two parts. One is your prelims. In prelims syllabus, UPSC mentions that Indian polity and governance. UPSC mentions Indian polity and governance. Now, when UPSC mentions Indian polity and governance, UPSC mentions few things under this. One is constitution. Second is political system. Panchayati Raj. Public policy, right? Constitution, political system, public policy, Panchayati Raj, rights and issues, etc. Rights, issues, etc. This is what the syllabus of UPSC mentions. This is what the syllabus of UPSC mentions from the prelims point of view for your polity pattern or your for polity portion, right? This is what the UPSC mentions from your prelims perspective. Now, constitution, sir, it is a huge document. What to read in constitution, right? Isn't this Panchayati Raj institutions part of the constitution? Isn't this public policy, isn't this rights and issues part of the constitution? And now, sir, can any one of you tell me what is the definition or what is the meaning of issues? What is the definition or what is the meaning of issues? Koi bata sakta hai? No, no one can tell me, because there is no particular definition about the issues. Right. So I will tell you that how UPSC covers this. Right. I'll tell you that how UPSC covers this. Now, for example, UPSC has said rights and issues, etc. Now, UPSC asked a previous year question from prelims. I'm talking about prelims, then I'll go to mains as well. Right. UPSC asked a question in prelims that which of the following, that there was a case related to right to marry person of your own choice. So UPSC stated that which of the following article includes right to marry person of your own choice as a fundamental right? Article 14, Article 15, Article 19, Article 21. Answer was Article 21. Right? Answer was Article 21. So this is what is rights and issues. So the idea of issues has no definition. It does not have any bar set on it ki issues kya honge. Right? Issues kuch bhi ho sakte hain. Issues can be multiple. Right? Are you getting my point? Are you with me, everyone? Yes or no? So this webinar has to be very dynamic and democratic. I should be aware that whether you are with me or not. Everyone. Himanshi, I'll answer that. Don't worry. YouTube people on YouTube as well. They are with me. Great. I am looking at the comments of Zoom as well as on YouTube. Don't worry. Right. So these are the issues that we need to understand. Now, the point is that how to understand these issues. How to understand these issues, what is the importance of polity, and how many questions UPSC is asking from polity every year or from time to time, right? So if we understand, there are two very, very important portions. You analyze the paper of last 5 years. You analyze the papers of last 5 years, you will understand that two very, very important portions, out of which more than 40% of exam in prelims is being asked by UPSC. I'm telling you, right? I'm telling you that out of the two portions on which UPSC is asking around 40% of the exam in prelims since last 4 to 5 years, one is polity and economics. Merge these polity and economics and you will understand that UPSC is asking around 40% of exam in prelims out of these two components, right? Out of these two components. And I'll give you an example. That how many questions UPSC is asking out of this. How many questions UPSC is asking out of this? In polity in 2021, prelims examination, UPSC asked 19 questions. 19 questions in prelims. 19 questions in prelims, just out of this portion of polity, right? 2020, 15 questions, right? 2019 13 questions, 2018 again 13 questions, 2017 22 questions, 22 questions just out of the portion of polity, just out of the portion of polity, right? And obviously if you add the portion of government schemes into this, the number will rise. If you add the portion of government schemes into this, the number will rise, right? So that is, we need to understand that how much important polity is from our exam point of view, right? Because that is what is our major portion, right? That is what we are addressing here, that what is the importance from exam point of view. Now when we talk about Indian polity and constitution, so constitution, as I told you, constitution is a much or a huge or a wider term, right? Huge wider term, constitution, right? How we need to understand it? Do we need to remember the articles? My answer is no. We need not learn all the articles. There are only few articles which we need to learn, which we need to understand, right? Which we need to learn, which we need to understand, right? And there are only few articles, and most of the time those articles are in news. Most of the time those articles are in news. I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example that as UPSC, I give the question, example of the question of Article 21. So everyone knows what is Article 21. So there are certain fundamental rights that you need to understand. You need to learn those articles. For example, freedom of speech and expression. Can anyone tell me the article in which freedom of speech and expression is given? Great. I have started to get multiple answers. Wonderful. Wonderful. Multiple answers. Article 19, clause 1, subclause A. बहुत बढ़िया sir. Great. Article 19. So these are the articles which are in news, right? Then there was a question, then there became a question on national emergency, Article 352, Article 368 related to amendments. So there are only few articles which we will shortlist in the class for you, right? Which I try to shortlist in the class for the students, for the aspirants. But here I am telling you that how you can do it yourself as well, right? You can do it yourself as well. If you come to attend the classes, that portion, that will be my responsibility. I'll teach you. I'll make you remember the major articles in the class. That is what I have been doing since last 6 years. But now if you want to understand that how you can do it yourself, just focus on one thing, that is what are the current related issues that are in news. What are the current related issues that are in news? Now, for example, if there question of secularism, if secularism is in news, right? The issue of recently hijab was in news, right? Then the question of freedom of religion can be asked by UPSC. Now you need to understand, you need to remember that freedom of religion is given in which articles of the constitution, and you, for that you need not understand any rocket science, sir. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप बैठ जाओ कि पेड़ के नीचे कि ओहो क्या होगा जी, नहीं sir. That is even given in the newspapers and every basic component of polity, including your NCRTs, right? Including your NCRTs. So this is how we need to understand that. Pick up the current affair portions, read the newspaper. I often recommend the students ask me, sir, which newspapers to read. I'm covering your freedom of the portion of newspaper covering as well, right? You were asking, many of the doubts were related to newspaper, so I'm covering here only the issues of newspaper as well. The students ask, sir, which newspaper to read, right? Which newspaper to read? So there are two newspapers. One is The Hindu, second is Indian Express. Hindu and Indian Express. These are the two newspapers I recommend. Hindu you read, right? Indian Express you can read from the explained page. The explained page is very important. You can read that explained page and some editorials out of Indian Express. Otherwise, if you are reading The Hindu, along with The Hindu, just these portions of Indian Express, that is very much, that is a lot, right? Nothing more than that is required, right? So these are the newspapers. Now, how to understand that what is important from the exam point of view, right? What is important from exam point of view? कि अब तो सर ऐसे तो पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज की न्यूज़ आती हैं, तो पढ़ लें कि which political party broke, which political party lost elections, which political party has got how many members. No sir, no, not important. What is important for polity, is that if there is any news, related to the portion of constitution, right? If there is any constitutional occurrence, if there is any constitutional amendment, if the judgment of the court is related to the larger perspective of the constitution, that is important. We need not learn everything or we need not read everything. ठीक है ना? We need not read everything. We need to understand the syllabus. We need to understand the syllabus. That in syllabus there is a demand for constitution. There is a demand for political system. There is a demand for panchayati raj institutions. There is a demand for public policy, that is the government schemes. Then there is a demand for rights and issues. These rights and issues include your rights of the people, rights of the government, duties of the people, duties of the government. Everything is included, right? As everything is included in the constitution itself. So if any of such sort is in use, then you can read it. And now when I'm talking to you about the Hindu current affairs or the Hindu, so that Hindu current affair is being covered, and this Indian Express is being covered by the institution free for all, right? Free for all. सबके लिए free है sir. Aman, this will be in bilingual. I have already told you, Aman, this will be bilingual, right? This will be bilingual, Hindi and English mix. So don't worry. ठीक है, अगर कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा, you can let me know. If you are unable to get something, you can let me know. But I don't, right, Gopal ji, I don't know which newspaper for Hindi medium specifically, right? I know about Hindu and Indian Express, right? So we cover that Hindu current affairs, and your PDF is being provided on a Telegram channel for Indian Express as well as Hindu, and every day from 2:30 to 4:30 हर रोज 2:30 से 3:30 एक घंटे के लिए पिछले हफ्ते के इंपॉर्टेंट करंट अफेयर्स ब्रेकिंग इनटू एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू हम कवर करते हैं. वी कवर दैट ऑन आवर यूट्यूब चैनल. सो आई विल शेयर दैट लिंक ऑफ द यूट्यूब चैनल in the Telegram as well as the Telegram link on the comment section. So take full advantage of that. No fees is required, no need to pay anything. Just come to the YouTube, read it, listen to Varun sir's Hindu. Then at 2:30 subject specific as teachers come, they teach you the previous week current affair for free. And every day on Telegram there is the post is put of the current affairs and which things to read. Now all those students who were asking me, sir, what to read in newspaper, you go and look into our Telegram channel. So there is a separate team that they read newspapers, they highlight what is important and they put that in the Telegram. Right? So we are doing so much for you that we highlight and put that on Telegram. Right? So the links have been shared by Akshay sir. Thank you so much. The links have been shared. Join it and you will feel the difference. Right? Believe me, you will feel the difference. Now coming back to this. Right? So how to pick those current affairs? Ek bar, sir, please send the link once again. Akshay sir. Great. Yes, our academy is also offline. Neil, that will address later. That you can call on the numbers that will be provided. So we'll move to this part. Right? So I was talking about the articles that we need to remember and the newspapers we need to understand. So link that. So if anything is in current is in news, that static portion automatically becomes important. If something of current is in news, then the static portion automatically becomes important. जैसे कि मैंने आपको example दी. Right? If for example the federal system कि अगर कल को ये ऐसा हो जाए कि the governor and chief minister भी झगड़ा हो जाए. So there was a news recently that there is a kind of a conflict between the governor of West Bengal and the chief minister of West Bengal. Right? Governor और chief minister के बीच में थोड़ा सा झड़प होगी. So that automatically becomes important. Right? The role of the governor becomes important. The role of the chief minister becomes important. Right? The powers of the governor becomes important. The powers of the chief minister becomes important. That is what are the political system and the issues that are in use. Right? ये सारी चीजें important हैं कि जब झड़प हो गई तो क्या करा जाए, पावर क्या है, ये सब न्यूज में. So that is what is being asked by UPSC since last few years. Right? Akash, don't worry, I will answer that. I'll get to that. Don't worry, Akash. Right? So this is what is in news and this is how it has to be covered. Are you getting my point? Yes or no, everyone? Are you with me? Everyone, yes or no? Great. So now moving to the mains portion. Now in mains examination, there is a complete set of GS2. Now in GS2, what is important is the constitution. What is important is the constitution portion. Right? The federal system, working of the constitution, basic structure of the constitution, etc., etc. All these things are important from your exam point of view. ये सब यूपीएससी ने आपके नोट्स में लिखा हुआ है, right? Sarthak, those telegram links will be forwarded again, don't worry. Indrajit, you asked me a question, don't worry, I'll answer that, Indrajit. Priyanka, for PCS you can have a separate call. For PCS we'll arrange a separate call for you, don't worry. You can call our team, they will arrange a call for you for specifically for PCS, don't worry. Right? So now the point is that for mains we need to cover everything. Now the difference between prelims and mains is that prelims is based on the understanding of concepts. Now people often have a misconception. There is a myth that is created. There is a myth that is created that prelims means facts. No, sir. Prelims does not mean facts. I am telling you again and again, prelims does not mean facts. Prelim means concepts. Prelims means concepts, right? And on that concepts, what we need to do in the mains, that for those concepts, there has to be the analysis of those concepts. There has to be the analysis of those concepts, right? Now the freedom of speech and expression is not going to change, right? The federal powers or the power of the governor is not going to change, right? For your conceptual as well. So if you understand the power of the governor, or if you understand the power of the chief minister, or if you understand the directive principle of state policy or the fundamental right, the analyzing portion or the analysis of that will be done for your mains examination. I'll give you an example. For example, UPSC asked a question that everyone knows that the Supreme Court gave a verdict about right to privacy as a fundamental right, right? So UPSC asked the question that which of the for your mains examination, that what will be the implication of right to privacy on Article 21 of the Constitution. Important Supreme Court judgments are very, very important from an exam point of view. So when we are reading in prelims, so I will tell you that these are the important or the composite fundamental rights कि ये धीरे धीरे सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने फंडामेंटल राइट्स में ऐड करने शुरू कर दिए. धीरे धीरे सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ये चीजें फंडामेंटल राइट्स में ऐड करनी शुरू कर दी. That gradually Supreme Court added these fundamental rights. But the analysis that what will be the impact, what is basically right to privacy, how the rights will get impacted, that is the analyzing portion. And that analysis portion UPSC asks in mains, right? So when people say that here you completely separate out prelims, you completely separate out mains, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. The strategy can differ because in prelims we have subjective paper, in mains we have in prelims we have objective paper, in mains we have subjective paper, so the strategy will differ. But if you say ki nahi sir, close your eyes and read for prelims, close your eyes and read for mains, that cannot be possible, because in one there is a concept. If you will not understand the concept, how will you understand the analysis of that, right? How will you understand the analysis of that? And that is why I was saying that in every 230 to 330 class we cover the current affair with the analysis portion that will be covering your prelims as well as mains in our YouTube, right? That is the reason I was saying that we'll share the links again, don't worry. The webinar is not going to end here. I'll share the link. Right, the links will be shared. Akshat sir, please kindly share the links again, as the students are continuously asking for the links. Right, share them, Akshat sir. Right, YouTube link, share the YouTube link so that they can get it. So you will be shared. Right. So now when I was talking about this, the concepts and the analysis, we need to understand the concepts and the analysis. How this relationship has to be done. I'll give you an example. Right. Right, I'll give you an example. Just for example, sorry. For example, if we need to understand the evolution of the Constitution, we need to understand the evolution of basic structure of the Constitution. Now, when we need to understand the evolution of the basic structure of the Constitution, we need to understand right from the year of 1951 going up to the year of 2022. We need to understand everything. Right from the year of 1951 to the year of 2022, we need to understand everything. right? How this interrelationship is this made, how the Constitution of India has evolved. That is how we need to understand polity. That we need to understand polity from the perspective of evolution of our constitution, evolution of our political system. UPSC is now not just asking that what are fundamental rights. UPSC is not asking these questions in mains examination. UPSC has risen its level, right? UPSC has risen its level, that UPSC is asking you about the analytical portions in your main examination. For example, UPSC may ask you a question about a very basic question UPSC asked about separation of power. Couple of years before, in last couple of years, UPSC asked one question in mains, that what is separation of power, right? Does Indian Constitution allow separation of power, a system of checks and balances? UPSC ka question hai, you can pick up the paper and read. First question of the UPSC was that in the particular year, right? So people understand that what is separation of power. We need to understand what is separation of power. But what is the linkage between separation of power and checks and balances? So for that, we need to understand the interlinkages of the portion, and for that, the notes are very important. Now I will come to the point of when you are asking how to make notes and what are the sources from where you can make these notes, right? So you understood these two things, everyone. You understood these two things, that interlinkages are important, right? How to remember, how to understand current affairs, which newspapers are there for the current affairs. Everyone, are you with me? Yes or no? Great, right? So these interlinkages are important. So how will you understand? Now if the portion of separation of power is in news, so UPSC can ask you a question on that portion in your mains examination. Polity, if you go on internet, do one thing after the webinar ends. Go on internet and search the topper score of last year's, right? You will find, yes, amendments will be included in English. So you will find that many of the toppers have scored more marks in GS2 compared to any other general studies exam. Many of the toppers, and I'm not covering absolutely 100%. I am saying many of the toppers have joined or have gained more marks in general studies 2 rather than other general studies. The reason is the understanding of the current portion and interlinkages. Because if you read the points, or if you understand the basic aspect, of what is being asked by UPSC in your general studies, you will find that maximum of the things are related to current affairs, right? So the current and the static, the marriage of the current and static, bolte na vivah, shadi, है ना? So the marriage of current and static can be done here. So if you understand what is going in their current, you will understand what to read. So now coming to the sources, yeah, coaching is necessary or not, that is for you to decide, right? If you can do all of these things at your own, that is fine. But if you want to take the coaching, we are open for you, right? That is completely your choice. I'll not say that no, it cannot be. I'll not say yes, it can be. Some students crack it, some students don't. With the coaching, without the coaching, it only depends on how well you are guided. And coaching is not that spoon feeding. Coaching is, I'll answer that, don't worry. Coaching is for the perspective of guidance. Coaching is for the perspective of the guidance. Our institution is in Chandigarh, Sector 25D, Chandigarh, Raj Malhotra IAS. Sector 25D, Chandigarh, Raj Malhotra IAS. That is our institution. If you want, you can visit Himanshi, right? And everyone, those who are asking, right? So now the sources and how to make notes. Sources and how to make notes. So when we talk about the sources, people come to me and ask, sir, whether NCERTs are important? Whether NCERTs are important? Yes, NCERTs are important. NCERTs are important. Sunena, you should start your preparation from NCERTs. NCERTs are very, very important from your exam point of view for UPSC. Right? Very important from your exam point of view from UPSC. Right? Now, which class NCERTs? Now, for polity, there is an NCERT of 6th to 11th. 6th to 11th NCERT that is there for you. Right? Now, how to read NCERTs, that is very important. How to read NCERT, that is very important. We need not make notes of the NCERT or read NCERT from one chapter out of everything. Are Ankit, sab clear hoga, ghabrao mat. Ankit, I'll clear that as well. Right, Ankit? With example. I'll clear that with example, taking the example of previous year UPSC question, nothing else. right? I believe what is the best source for you to understand is UPSC's paper itself, right? So I'll tell that, right? So NCERT of 6th to 11th is important. Now we need not understand or read NCERT in a single pattern कि यार आज 6th क्लास की NCERT पढ़ रहे हैं, कल 7th की NCERT पढ़ रहे हैं, कल 8th की NCERT पढ़ रहे हैं, नहीं, ऐसे नहीं करना है. What we need to do is that we have to read this NCERTs from 6th to 11th in an integrated manner. In an integrated manner. We have to read them in an integrated manner. So when we say that we have to read them in an integrated manner, what do we mean by that? What do we mean by that when we say that we have to read them in an integrated manner? That, for example, the topic of secularism, the topic of democracy. Let us suppose the topic of democracy. The topic of democracy is there in 8th class NCERT. The topic of democracy is there in 9th class NCERT. The topic of democracy is in 11th class NCERT. So read that together. Make an integrated note of that democracy from all the NCERTs, right? And why not 12th class NCERT? 12th class NCERT for polity, there are 2 NCERTs of 12th class. There are 2 NCERTs of 12th class. First NCERT is for India since independence, and second NCERT for 12th is for international relations. That is why I'm not covering it here, right, Mohammed Kaf? Right? That is the reason I'm not covering it here, because I'm specifically talking here about what from polity perspective, right, Mohammed Kaf? Yes or no, Mohammed? Right? So we need to cover in an integrated manner. Now, how to make notes? How to make notes is an integrated manner, right? Read the topic of democracy, make the notes from 6th, 11th, and 10th on every NCERT where democracy is. Now, for that also we have made a solution for you. There is an integrated module that can be presented to you, that can be provided to you, where we will provide, or we provide to our students, the integrated NCERT classes along with the integrated NCERT notes, right? So there is a complete NCERT coverage and complete NCERT notes in which the notes are being made in this manner, in an integrated manner. So if you want to join those classes, that is completely your choice. But if you don't want to join those classes, these are the issues that how you can make notes. Integrated notes are very, very important. Example, जैसे मैंने आपको बोला, democracy 6th class, 8th class, 10th class, 11th class. Make under one heading. Make it under one heading so it is easier for you to learn. It is easier for you to remember. It is easier for you to revise. So if you can do it yourself, very wonderful, great. But if you want help, there is an affordable course by our institution. You can join it. We have taught more than 5,000 students in NCERT in last 2 years. More than 5,000 students. Believe me, watch the demo lectures and it will be your choice, right? So if you can do it yourself, that is your choice. Fees वगैरह मैं यहाँ नहीं बता रहा हूँ. Fees, for every fees and everything, you can have a conversation with the academic, the administration team, right? I'm not telling the fees or anything here. I'm just telling you that if you cannot do this, then join us. If you can, that is your choice. If you can, then that is your choice. Now, the second important source is Lakshmikant. That people say Lakshmikant. Now, Lakshmikant, sir, when we were preparing, Lakshmikant was a small book of 400, 500 pages, 300, 400 pages. Now, Lakshmikant is of 800 pages. How to revise it? How to remember it? How to read it again and again? That is very important, right? How to read it again? That is very, very important. So what we need to do? और क्या करें उसका सर बताओ? You tell me, can you revise 800 page book again and again? You tell me, everyone. No, great. You are saying no, right? I'll give you a solution. I'll give you a solution. The solution is that there are 2 solutions that I give to every aspirant, even those who attend our batches. So without any, creating any differentiation or partiality with those students who are our batch students or the students who are joining our classes, and with you, a very straightforward answer. There are 2 options. One option is that whenever you attend the classes, the class notes will be provided to you. And in those class notes, along with that, you can integrate the institution booklet or Lakshmikant, depending upon the chapters which we have to read. We can leave certain chapters. We can leave certain chapters out of Lakshmikant, right? We can leave certain chapters out of Lakshmikant, so that can be done, right? Now, those class notes will make it easier for you to understand Lakshmikant and make it easier for you to read Lakshmikant. Lakshmikant needs to be revised. How it needs to be revised, that I'll tell you. how it needs to be revised, that I'll tell you. That you read Lakshmikant, or you need our institution module, right? You need our institution module, you read that. You read the class notes, you read Lakshmikant, whichever is comfortable for you, right? If you read it, you will find that, for example, you have read fundamental rights. Yes, you can get the institution booklets. You can talk to the front department, the admin department. They will provide you with the links and everything, right? But you will not get the class notes. Class notes are completely different. Institution booklets are completely different, right? So read Lakshmikant, go through Lakshmikant, because everyone recommends Lakshmikant, right? So if you're reading fundamental rights, or if you're reading parliament, so how it is to be revised? I'm telling you how it is to be revised, because one question that you asked me was revision. I'll answer that, how it is to be revised. So if you have read Lakshmikant, fundamental rights, or a particular portion in Lakshmikant, what can be done is that take out, read it, so try to solve previous year questions, try to solve the questions. So if you find that, oh, I am facing a problem in fundamental rights, read fundamental rights again. I am facing a problem in parliament, read parliament again. I am facing problem in Panchayati Raj institutions, read Panchayati Raj institutions again. No need to read the entire book again and again. This is how you need to read Lakshmikant. This is how you need to understand Lakshmikant, right? But once you need to go through at least 500, 600 pages, that is very much possible, because that is hard work you have to put. That is the hard work you have to put, right, everyone? That is the hard work you have to put. Then you can shift to this pattern ki aaj humne ek paper solve kara, so then we can read it that point again. If you face that, yes, I am facing a doubt in fundamental rights, or I am facing doubt in parliament, I am facing doubt in Panchayati Raj institutions, go to pick up Lakshmikant, read just that portion again. That is what it can be done, or this is how it can be completed, right? Now when someone was asking me कि sir NCERT ही सबसे जरूरी है क्या, right? NCERT is the initiation point, and UPSC is asking you questions out of NCERTs. Every time UPSC is asking questions out of NCERTs, right? UPSC asks the question that which of the following form is best described liberty, right? Lakshmikant does not answer that. I cover that in class, ठीक है, और ऐसे पहले से भी कवर कर रहा था. I cover that in class, but Lakshmikant does not answer that. Where it is answered? NCERT, right? I will highly recommend that you attend the demo lectures, and if you like the demo lectures, then you join NCERT and you will get the integrated module. But otherwise as well, I will highly recommend that you need to at least go through cover to cover or completely the NCERT of +1, Indian Constitution at Work. This NCERT of +1, Indian Constitution at Work, very, very important. You will understand the basic terminologies out of that NCERT, right? You read that NCERT along with the institution classes, along with the institution module. I think that will be enough for you. I think that will be enough for you, right? Then, and how to judge yourself? How to judge yourself is just from previous year UPSC questions. How to judge yourself is from previous year UPSC questions. No, Lakshmikant will not be completely, sufficient for mains examination. And mains ke liye Lakshmikant nahi hai. I am telling it again and again. Mains ke liye Lakshmikant nahi hai. Mains ke liye Lakshmikant nahi hai. Right? Lakshmikant is especially for your prelims perspective. For mains, you need a deeper analysis. For mains, you need a better analysis, and that is not provided by Lakshmikant. Right? For that, you need to understand current affairs. For that, you need to understand the concepts and judge yourself on the basis of parameters of previous year UPSC questions. This is how we have to prepare. This is how we have to prepare the polity portion of your UPSC and new NCERTs. Akash, new NCERTs. Right? Mains ke liye notes, current affairs and notes are important. For mains, notes and current affairs important, right? And for mains, as you are again asking me about mains, I'll also tell you that current affairs, deeper analysis are important, but don't start answer writing from day one. Don't start answer writing from day one. ठीक है? Answer writing एक आदत है. It is a habit. अगर एक बार गंदी पड़ गई ना, गंदा लिखते रहोगे. So you need to have a sufficient content before writing answers. Right? You need to have sufficient content before writing answers. So give a sufficient time to yourself, understand the concepts, and then shift to answer writing. You need not shift to answer writing from day one. That is very, very important. You need not start answer writing from day one. That is very, very important. Right? and which part to skip of Lakshmikant, that you will understand gradually. Yes, yes, Lakshmikant along with the class notes or the institution booklets is more than sufficient, Kiran. Right, it is more than sufficient, Kiran. Right, now this is how we need to understand polity, this is how we need to prepare polity, and this is how we are teaching polity here, that in an integrated manner for pre, for mains, because this polity will be very helpful for your prelims, for your mains, as well as your interviews, your essays. Because whenever you sit on the platform or be the bureaucrat, one thing is very, very important, that you need to have a constitutional frame of mind. A constitutional frame of mind is very important. That is the reason that constitution, the basic source of the entire law, is being taught by UPSC as such an important level for you. Right, everyone? Are you with me? Yes or no? Akshat sir, can you share the links again, Akshat sir? Akshat sir. What about essays? Essays ke liye we'll have a different session. For essays, we'll have a different session. Right, Akshat sir, share the number with them also, the institution number. So they want to inquire. There are many students who are inquiring about the NCERT batches and the booklets. Share that number as well. Right, Akshat sir, that is being shared in your groups and on Telegram. Now, one very important announcement for you. Now, one very important announcement for all of you. After this class, there at 5 p.m. there is another session that is being conducted by Raj sir himself. Right. In that session, he will discuss about the basic pattern and about history. So that link is also being shared. The number has been shared. The number is 708-700-437. You can call on this number for any inquiry. And Akshat sir, kindly in their WhatsApp groups and on YouTube, share the link of Raj sir's class, so they can join that class as well and understand more about UPSC, and we can help them more. Right, everyone? Did you enjoy the session, everyone? Yes or no? Everyone, did you enjoy the session? I hope you enjoyed. I hope you understood. Everyone, am I audible? Governance ke liye we have a session. I have told you earlier, Seema, governance ke liye we have a separate session. Right. So the induction link is being shared in the group. Induction link is being shared. The class will start exactly at 5 of Raj sir. Telegram वाला भी शेयर करो दोबारा. Akshay sir, kindly share the YouTube and Telegram link again. Yes, I will take PCS classes as well. Sagar, don't worry. For polity, I'll take the classes. Once you need to read Lakshmikant, but after that you can go for the portions of Lakshmikant as I have told you. So I'll take your leave, everyone. Thank you very much. It was great interacting with you. I hope you liked the session. Sagar, you can call on the reception on this number and they will tell you about all the informations. Sagar, you can call on this number. Thank you very much. I'll take your leave. All the best. Great.